Hi, welcome. So it's still Saturday night. I've done a few readings in a row because I was told to sit down and do the readings. And so with this one, I kind of instinctively pulled out a few things to use for this particular reading. I feel like I can't see. And so this one this is like a current situation kind of energy that's coming through, and it may just be for a select few of you who see this. I don't know. Well, that's not for me to know. But there's something about a current situation that we're going to go deeper into. So thank you, Spirit. We have the Nine of Cups. I haven't used this deck too much. I don't think I've used it. I used it only once while I was gone last month in Costa Rica. So there's the Nine of Cups. Oh, the Ten of Wands. Interesting. These are bent. These are curling, probably from the Costa Rican humidity. The Four of Wands. What is with all these wands? Ace of Wands. That's interesting. The King of Cups. In the recent past. And then we have the Strength card. I love the Strength card in this deck. It's so beautiful. We have the Nine of Pentacles. Oh, I got some nines here. The Seven of Pentacles. Judgment. Ooh. Cat hair. And, oh my god, the Eight of Wands. You guys, so many wands. What's happening? And then the overall energy. The World. I can't put the World where you can see it. The overall energy is the World. We'll put it right here. That's funny to me because we just got the World in another reading, and then this last reading there were a lot of wands too. There's something like about, there's some passion and opportunities and like, oh, stuff going on here. There's stuff going on in this reading. How generic. Before I get into this, I want to pull an overall energy. This one, it was feeling kind of deep, so let's use the archetypes. Because guess what? All of this zodiac deck is all like archetypal kind of energy here. Thank you, Spirit. Let's get a card we haven't seen in a while because these are so sticky. Thank you. The Lover. What? Look how beautiful that is. The Lover. What is this about? What is this about? Okay, we're going to read this real quick. The XVII. Oops. The Lover. The heart, the beloved, the devoted. Pulsing through the heart of the lover is gratitude. The lover appreciates and experiences the world through the senses, reveling in beauty, song, art, music, sense, and sensuality. This energy awakens at the tip of our tongue when we taste the sweetness of honey, kiss a lover, or speak gentle words to a child. The lover lingers in foreplay, aroused not by the getting there, but by the slow merging of self and other. This energy is usually experienced for short periods of time, as in order to feel it, we must be fully present and awake, with no expectations or rules about what should be. Rather, the lover is in awe of what the world presents, reveling in the glorious details, grateful to savor every last drop of fate's offerings. I love the world came up here. The lover is in awe of what the world presents. When light, connection, expansion, devotion, awe. When dark, indulgence, attachment, obsession. This attachment thing keeps coming up. Like we're being called to like be wary of it when you attach too much to something. The lover archetype is present everywhere, not just where conventional forms or pleasure and beauty are found. The lover's awe is unconditional. When you hold someone's gaze for several moments, you'll feel the lover within you awaken. It is common to seek the lover in another. The true gift is finding the lover in yourself. Yep, that's for sure. Okay, so we have the lover and the world, which is awesome, because what this is saying is this isn't a love reading, guys. This is not a love reading. I can already tell. What's happening here is it's saying like the love for yourself and the love and awe for the world by being fully present. This is like non-duality stuff. And this is seeing the world through the eyes of love. Okay, we're going to get there. So we have in your current energy the Nine of Cups. So there's some satisfaction here, some contentment, some like basking in kind of like what you've built up around you. So there's a satisfaction here, and it's crossed by the Ten of Wands. So it's saying here like you've pushed real hard to get where you are. You've pushed real hard. You've worked really hard. Yet there's not quite that sense of full fulfillment yet. You have satisfaction, but not quite ultimate fulfillment. Okay. And there's this Ten of Wands energy saying like either be wary, like either you've been pushing hard, or be careful of pushing too hard at like sheer willpower, right? It's saying like don't exhaust yourself. It's like there's that push energy. And then in the subconscious perhaps is the Four of Wands, meaning like maybe what you're really, there's like this sense of stability that you're seeking with the Four of Wands through maybe your passions, that you're like, I just don't feel it yet. Like there's seems to be something about stability, or maybe a lack of stability with following your passions. There's this push energy with like you have some sense of contentment but not ultimate fulfillment. And maybe there's a hesitation for going after your true passions, because of like, it doesn't feel stable. And here in your conscious mind though, this Ace of Wands is saying like, yes, that's what I want. Like, I know I want it. I'm just like, I have to heal something about like not feeling totally like it's going to provide for me. Something's causing some hesitation here. And then in the immediate past leading up to this point is the King of Cups. We're going to have to clarify that, because I'm not quite sure what that is yet. But if we think about like in the immediate future being your strength, so it's like we think of this as like a progression. So King of Cups is like you have this emotional strength, the ability to lead with compassion. And so that's maybe gotten you to a certain point that will ultimately lead to this feeling of inner strength. I don't know. There's something not quite clear here yet. So let's move on. We'll come back to this. And then in your kind of like what your heart truly desires is the Nine of Pentacles, which is funny because here we have like there's something about so right now you're like, I've got some amount of satisfaction that I like through it's almost like self-satisfaction. You're pretty pleased with yourself. Maybe you've prided yourself and like, I'm a hard worker and I can push to get things done. And it's like, look at me, like I did this. But it's not out of your passions, and you're hesitating because you don't think they can bring you stability, yet that's what you really want. And in your heart, that's what you're trying for in life, but in your heart, you want that satisfaction out of like in the material world. You want that stability. You want the abundance that comes from, you want your passions to lead to your abundance. Whew, that was a short way to say it. But something's not, there's still this push energy that you currently have. And then the Seven of Pentacles in the surrounding energy is like, you're just like not quite satisfied with how things are progressing. You're not quite there yet. You're like, is this really worth it? Should I just stay on my easy path, which hasn't been easy because you've been pushing. You just make it look easy. Should I stay on that path or really follow the path, like my true path? I just don't, it's like you don't believe in yourself. There's some energy of like, sorry if that was harsh, but like we've all been through that. It's just something's keeping you playing small and safe. And then the Judgment is in the hopes and fears. So obviously the hope is like you're full on awakening, right? You're stepping into your new way of being in the world. But the fear is literal judgment. Like literal, like there's like this, you're like fearing the truth, fearing your truth. And it's not fear as like you're scared of it, but it's like, again, it feels like it's risky, or like you're just so content and safe, playing it safe right now. Like, do you fear judgment from other people? Are you judging yourself? But really what you want is you're full on like, oh, like awakened to your fullness self. And then we have the Eight of Wands in the potential outcome here, which is amazing because there's like that swiftness of like all these opportunities are just going to come in for you if you can get like, stop playing small and safe. Like it's all right there. It's all right there. It's coming if you believe in yourself. And I love that this like overall energy is like the world is yours. It's like looking at things through the eyes of the lover, like being in awe of the world. It's like there must be some sort of judgment or comparison thing that you're dealing with when it's like you're not seeing through the eyes of love with everything. It's almost like you have like too critical of discernment or this comparison complex or judgment happening that's keeping you small, when really that it's all false. It's all made up. It's all of the mind. This is calling to me these art cards. They don't have really any, they have some words, but not really. This like art. And it's just a way to read into like some of this energy a little deeper, a little more intuitively. Thank you, Spirit. Ooh, that's interesting. Here we go. Holding hands. This is, it's kind of reminds me of the Ouroboros, where it's like the continual cycle of, yeah, it totally reminds me of the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail, which is like that cycle of constant renewal and rebirthing. It's like shedding, you're constantly shedding, and there's something like calling you to shed and get down to the bare bones of something. Where am I going to put this? I don't know. I thought I created more space on my desk by decluttering, but I feel like I'm going to figure this out. What is with the fish? Here's another fish. What is with the fish? Catch me if you can. Oh, that's interesting. Because that's totally like this Eight of Wands energy is just like, I'm off and running. Like, catch me if you can. So it's like something about shedding, and that's why the correlation here with the two fishes, the two fish, like this, they go together. It's like shed that old, like that feeling small, get down to the bare bones of something here, like this false perception you have of yourself, and this is false here, thinking that when you follow your passions, it's too risky, it's not stable. That's just false. You have the world, and opportunities are just going to come flying in, and you're going to be like, I'm off and running, catch me if you can. And then we have, I don't even know what this is. Whoop. This is trippy artwork, that's for sure. There's like this divine inspiration here. And it's asking you to like go, there's like go into the depths of your subconscious, which is like tapping into your intuition and that connection with your higher self. There's something like some divine inspiration here that you're not going to get by looking to the outside world in that comparison mode. It's you're going to have to go inward and get divinely inspired. Where did this go? I don't even know where I put anything anymore. Here we go. Okay, so what I'd like to do is clarify a couple of things, like the King of Cups. I'm going to pull out just the traditional tarot deck. I really want to understand the King of Cups, because only by understanding where we've been can you like really learn what lessons you need to learn here. Like, what is this King of Cups telling us? Thank you, Spirit. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Again, this is that hard work. You've been hard at work. He's like, it's almost like this, sometimes with the King of Cups, I get this feeling like things are a little like showy. If I'm thinking of like the King of Cups in reverse might be this like putting on airs, kind of like, I don't know, I got some chills. That feels accurate. And then with this Eight of Pentacles crossing it or clarifying it, it kind of leads us right into this push energy of like, you're hard at work, your head's down, you're not really like tapping into intuition, you're just like plugging away to reach some sense of satisfaction, but it's pushing, and it's not going after what you really truly desire. It's just doing the next thing that's in front of you. And then you're like, all these wands, you're like not seeing the truth. You're just like, here's what's in front of me, push, push, push. So, and then this King of Cups leading into the Nine of Cups is like this backwards sort of shrinking of the heart space. When you think of like going from a king down to a nine, is, and the cups being like your emotional, your heart space, it's like there's like this shrinking aspect by just doing the next thing that's in front of you, because it's the easy thing, it's the safe thing. You're just, it's like shrinking your heart. The Grinch. And then, but in the immediate future, you could have like this inner strength here. I want to clarify the Strength card, please. Thank you, Spirit. We have the Knight of Swords. Ooh. The Knight of Swords is like really fast acting. That's interesting because it's like, look at this. This particular strength card, it's like the lion is comforting the person, versus like in other decks, it doesn't like give off that vibe. It's like your strength is calling out to you, but you're not tapping into it. And instead, this Knight of Swords is like all head, and it's like charging ahead and skipping right over the heart space, because the swords are like, this is like the fastest like action. So it's like 8 of Pentacles to the 10 of Wands to the Knight of Swords. It's like you've got like all these different elements. It's like every part of your psyche is saying like, just push ahead, like don't slow down. And you're skipping over like this. It's like this strength feels like reversed in a way, where it's like you're not feeling into your strength because you're just push ahead. It's almost like you don't want to look at it. The strength is trying to find you, and you're not trying to find your strength. It's so fascinating. Thank you, Spirit. What about this 4 of Wands? Thank you. The Emperor. This is, remember when we said the 4 of Wands was like, it's like a false sense of stability that you have now, but what you're truly desiring, like what you really aren't putting thought into, but that you really desire, is to have the stability from your passions. But what's keeping you from that is really that rigid thinking. With the Emperor, there's like no heart space here. It's all very like rigid and just all armored up. So it's like you're playing it safe. There's some self-protection thing going on here that's keeping you playing it safe. What are you scared of? What are you scared of? I don't know if I need to clarify anything else, but what are you scared of? Thank you, Spirit. Let's see if we can get a question here to help us dig deeper. What are you scared of? What's holding you back? What questions could we contemplate? Thank you. These are a little sticky too. Am I letting matters that are out of my control stress me out? Or am I letting matters that are out of my control stress me out? Because that Knight of Swords is a kind of a very stressy energy. What's out of your control? Because there's definitely a momentum buildup here. It's like, am I letting matters that are out of my control stress me out? Because there is this grasping kind of energy to like, to keep holding on, like keep pushing forward with what's right in front of you. Wonder what that's all about. What is a mistake I seem to repeat? What can I do to prevent it this time? Let's put that there. Well, we know what the mistake is right now. But is there something you're out of self-protection? Like, is there a mistake that you seem to repeat? And what can you do to prevent it? But what, like, to prevent it means that you might be trying to control something a little too much. There's that, again, that feeling of like non-attachment coming up. This is interesting. Let me pull the astrology oracle, because this sometimes will clarify some shadow aspects of ourselves, but also on the flip side of that are like our greatest gifts. So maybe we'll just clarify and end with this. And maybe that'll give you enough to go on, to dig deeper and really have some quiet time to see what's keeping you playing it safe. Thank you, Spirit. So we have Mercury, Saturn. I always like to do 3 of these. Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Let's see. You need some water. Okay. Mercury, Saturn. I pulled these because we did the zodiac tarot, so why not do some more astrology in the oracle? 24. So I just said rigid thinking. Now take this, like, don't take it too personal. Sometimes these words can seem harsh, but I'm going to read some of the lighter aspects because there's an evolution to like the energies of these messages. So the primitive is cruel, rigid thinking and speaking lead you to separation, righteousness, and arrogance. So that's that emperor energy when I said some rigid thinking here. But then on the flip side is you exemplify inspired leadership in your writing, thinking, and speaking. Others are wowed by your capacity for laser-like, impeccable communication. Focused, incisive, clear speech and thinking on your part leads others to want to be more disciplined in their communications. So there's two sides to that coin. So maybe where you've been is that rigid thinking and maybe a little righteousness, because that's the energy. I just got chills again. That was the energy here. Like, yeah, I can push through anything. I don't need help. I know what I'm doing. I'm just doing the next thing in front of me. And this 9, see the look on her face? And I said it earlier, there's like this self-satisfaction piece. It might be self-righteousness. So be careful of that rigidness. That's where we've been. But where you're going is like all those good aspects we said about your communication. So there's a right-mindedness to this. Like if we get over this playing it safe, playing it small. And then there's 47 is Jupiter, Uranus. I think that says 47. Yes. One more. So the primitive is, in your own mind, you are the emperor, empress of all things. You expect everyone to see your genius. That's what this has been about. Again, like self-satisfaction a little bit. Like I said, don't take it too personally. Evolving. You are the ultimate teacher of a positive reality in which all people participate equally and feel emboldened to express themselves creatively. I love that. You are both lucky and abundant. You bestow everyone you meet with a sense of possibility and permission to be their complete self. Huh. That is quite the swing between the two. Like, it goes from like, there's a little bit of selfness here. And then on the flip side of that, like, you're so positive. You can shine a light out in the world that just inspires people. Like, I love that that's one of your gifts. If once you step into it, like if you fully step into your strength, man, you're going to shine. 63, Neptune, Pluto. You are drowning in delusions of addictive power. And I wonder if that's that, like, what mistake do you seem to repeat? It's like the power addiction. And it's like this is false sense of power, being able to push through and like you could do it all yourself. Gives you a false sense of power, a false sense of strength. But the flip side of that is you are the bodhisattva and have realized the impermanence of life. You model unconditional regard for every moment and every person. That's that lover energy that's coming back. I just got chills. That's that lover energy where it says you model unconditional regard for every moment and every person. You're seeing like everything through those love eyes. That's beautiful. So hopefully that was a little motivation to get from the first part of those readings to the flip side of that coin, which is fully stepping into your power, sense of strength, and like your gifts. Because the opportunities are there. It's like, well, stop playing it small, because it leads to these destructive behaviors, and it's just stressing you out, because this is a false sense of control. It's like, really, control's an illusion. So why not just strip off the armor there, let go of some rigid thinking, and like have some self-kindness, self-compassion. Like when we've been rigid, it's like we just need to like have some understanding for ourselves. That's all. So I hope this gives you a little grace, a little like motivation to give yourself some grace, and like, because it's all good. There's like this, like, catch me if you can. This is like, you feel like catch me if you can, but it's a false sense. This is all false right here. This is like when you truly heal this, like this attachment and this thinking you've got to go it all alone and do it all yourself. There's like whatever you're protecting. It might go back to childhood. We're not going to go that deep this time. But if you want like a personal reading, feel free to reach out, and we'll like take this and go deeper, especially with like a conversation, and you can ask questions and we'll try to get some answers. So yeah, feel free to reach out. There's a link if you're on my Patreon, it's on the about. If you're on YouTube, it's in the about. in the description of the channel, there's a link to all that stuff. So yeah, get in touch. And I hope that some part of this resonated, that there's a glimmer of hope here, that you just got to give yourself some grace. And a lot's going to come of that, because no one else is going to everyone else is trying to give it to you already, right? And you're just like, no, I can do this all myself. And it's like, no, just like give it to yourself. Yeah, you earned it. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye.